Now on the CTV News at 5.
I'm kind of going on the pathway of least resistance. Let a little child go.
The search for Darius McDougall continues. Plus, the province hints they may order striking teachers back to the classroom. And Lethbridge launches a new used battery pilot program.
Telling your stories. CTV News Lethbridge with Jackie Scantlebury.
Hello, and thank you for being here. More than 700 teachers, parents, and students gathered for a rally in Lethbridge today in support of striking teachers. Today marks day 3 of strike action between Alberta teachers and the province over wages, classroom sizes, and underfunding. Carson Marsouk reports.
It was a sea of red along Mermagrath Drive South in Lethbridge Wednesday afternoon as more than 700 teachers, parents, and students gathered in support of public education.
It's really hard for all the parents involved, and anyone I've talked to, we stand behind our teachers, and we really hope they get what they need, and we're here for that, for them and for the students.
Teachers are asking for 3 things: class sizes, classroom complexity, and wages that at least keep up with inflation. I would add to that respect for the profession.
More than 51,000 teachers are on strike across the province after voting 90% against the latest contract offer put forward by the province. The province's latest offer included a 12% wage increase over 4 years, funding for 3,000 new teachers and 1,500 education assistants. The union says at least 5,000 new teachers are needed.
It's easy enough for a government to say, and the ministers say, well, we gave teachers everything that they wanted. Well, in fact, that they didn't, not through the bargaining process. And as we presented it to our members and gave them the opportunity to vote on it, they said no.
But the province says it has offered teachers what they want.
Rank and file teachers have their finger on the pulse. They know what's needed in their classrooms. We understand it. I understand it. They need some more support to deal with aggression and complexity. Absolutely. And we're willing to provide supports in that regard. But it comes back to the issue of the union leadership perhaps being unable to articulate those needs at the bargaining table.
And the education minister says classroom caps don't have an impact on overall academic performance of students.
The only time where they are demonstrated to have any type of effectiveness is when the level is below 17.
The ATA wants to see more movement on both a wage increase and smaller class sizes in order to come back to the bargaining table.
Alberta students and their families and teachers deserve to have both.
With no formal talks between the province and ATA taking place, teachers will remain out of the classroom until a deal can be reached.
The sooner we can get back to our classrooms, the better.
Carson Marsouk, CTV News, Lethbridge.
Now, the province is hinting that back-to-work legislation could be coming if the teacher strike doesn't end before the legislature resumes on the 23rd. Meanwhile, the province's lockout goes into effect tomorrow afternoon. Conversations between the two sides remain at the exploratory level. Renegotiations have not begun. This week, Danielle Smith said classroom complexities are expected to be the focus of future talks. Now, Calgary teacher Alicia Taylor is behind a new citizen petition about education funding. The proposed question approved by Elections Alberta asks, should the government of Alberta end its current practice of allocating public funds to accredited independent private schools? A report by the Public School Boards Association of Alberta says the province leads the country in private school funding.
The public system is starved right now for funding, but private education is not.
You know, some of those alternative paths definitely take pressure off the public system as well.
Petition organizers will have to collect around 178,000 signatures. It has been 18 days since Lethbridge's Darius McDougall went missing while camping with his family in the Crow's Nest Pass area. While the official search was called off last week, civilians are now scouring the area in hopes of finding the autistic 6-year-old. Kathy Lee takes us on one civilian search.
That's a huge area.
Each step deliberate, every movement purposeful. Mike Hassel scans for the faintest signs of disturbance.
I'm kind of going on the pathway of least resistance. Figuring, well, let a little child go.
The child he is looking for is 6-year-old Darius McDougall from Lethbridge, Alberta. He went missing while on a camping trip with his family in the Crow's Nest Pass area more than 2 weeks ago, wearing these clothes.
This is my second time out here trying to do what I can.
The area where Darius went missing is very rugged. As you can see, this is incredibly tough terrain to navigate, even for the most experienced people.
Slippery as well, and you also got other factors such as the wildlife, like bears are high man, so there's high chance of bears.
All reasons the public was asked to stay away while professionals combed the area. But after 11 days of searching by hundreds of volunteers from Alberta, BC, and Saskatchewan, with no signs of Darius, the formal search was called off and the area reopened. Authorities say it's unlikely that Darius survived. As the RCMP continues its investigation, a community of civilian searchers grows on Facebook. Many, just like Hassel, heading out on their own.
This whole area was searched rigorously with helicopters, infrared, like the works. But it never hurts just to go over it again and just see what I can do.
And Hassel will continue to retrace more ground, steadfast in his effort to find Darius, saying he wants to bring hope, comfort, and closure to the child's family. Kathy Lee, CTV News, Crow's Nest Pass, Alberta.
Now, RCMP tell us their investigation is ongoing. They have followed up on 36 Crime Stoppers tips from the public and 20 files called into the RCMP detachment. Unfortunately, none have resulted in any new leads. Fort Macleod RCMP are trying to locate a missing man. 30-year-old Garrett Charles One Owl was last seen in Fort Macleod September 27th. One Owl is described as 5'9", 200 pounds, with black hair, brown eyes. He is known to frequent Fort Macleod and the Pagani area. If you have any information on One Owl's whereabouts, you are urged to contact Fort Macleod RCMP or Crime Stoppers. Danielle Savoni joins us now. And Danielle, it is that time of year where you may need your heater on in the car in the morning on your way to work, and then the air conditioner on the way home.
Yep. All over the place, just in the day itself, but then also throughout the week. We have hot days, we have cool days. Today's a little on the cooler side, thanks to winds out of the north, but no active weather to speak of in the far south for today. So it's been a quiet day. It's been a bright day, lots of sunshine out there, but of course nowhere near as warm as what we had yesterday. Yesterday we were in the 20s, today 13. Right now the temperature is 13 in Lethbridge, 16 in Brooks, 18 in Medicine Hat. Ooh, we just went to 14 there in Lethbridge, and 14 as well in Pincher Creek. So we are looking at these temperatures warming up for tomorrow, really the next couple of days, but then a massive cool down for the weekend. I'll show you the massive cool down coming up, Jackie.
All right, thanks, Danielle. Advanced voting for the upcoming municipal election began today in Lethbridge. Residents can vote at 2 super hubs this election, the Lethbridge Trade and Convention Centre and the Cora Van Ray YMCA, October 8th to the 11th, as well as from the 15th to 18th. Due to provincial government changes for greater election transparency, if you haven't already registered online to vote, you are going to have to fill out some paperwork at the voting station. A list of all candidates running can be found on the city's website. Election day is October the 20th. The town of Coaldale is deferring negotiations with locked-out employees to the next town council. In a statement, council says it has the Alberta Union of Provincial Employees' latest contract proposal in hand, but that it would be best for the incoming council to deal with contract negotiations to end the month-long lockout of the town's 40-plus employees. Coaldale's municipal election is, of course, October the 20th. In a previous statement, AUPE said it was incumbent for the town to resolve the lockout quickly instead of deferring the issue to the next mayor and council. Medicine Hat's mayor is finally getting reimbursed for legal fees from that city council. Mayor Lindsay Clark will be reimbursed for almost $60,000 in connection to a code of conduct complaint and judicial review after a tense dispute between Clark and the city manager Ann Mitchell in August of 2023. Medicine Hat City Council stripped the mayor of most of her powers and half of her salary. A judge found the actions unreasonable and reversed most of the sanctions. Clark had previously been paid $6,000 and is still owed more than $10,000 in legal fees. A new report from Avison Young shows more office users are choosing to actually buy their offices rather than rent. The change could signal businesses are more confident staying in Lethbridge long term. Quinn Keenan has more.
A growing number of businesses are opting for the ability to control their workspace. So far this year, most office transactions have been sales instead of leases. The trend is especially seen in medical and dental offices that can build out the space.
And now they're seeing the value in owning their space because the cost to build out space is very expensive. Construction costs have doubled in the last couple of years. So when you're building out space for another landlord, you're losing those improvements when you leave that lease.
Nationally, office transactions have been slow with hesitancy to buy office space. Lethbridge has bucked the trend, with 2025 expected to be a strong year for transactions. Many now see buying the office space as an investment.
This last year, we did find more of a trend on the sales versus leasing aspect of things, primarily due to professionals wanting to own their spaces and owner occupy and see the investment out of their tenancy.
Suburban offices have been driving much of that trend. Suburban office vacancy is 3.31% compared to just over 12% downtown. In a smaller market like Lethbridge, downtown spaces just aren't as much of a draw.
Location, location, location is always the adage in real estate, of course, and I think a lot of businesses are looking to be close to where people live. They're looking to be close to those neighborhoods. You're going to put your commercial business in high traffic routes, and that tends to be the outer areas where there's newer and more modern builds.
While the increased investment is good news, it's still too early to say what this means for Lethbridge. Lower interest rates have made it more affordable to buy over the last year.
You see ebbs and flows over time, right? Everything in business is a cycle, and as construction costs perhaps come down, or if interest rates shift again, we may see a shift back to leasing. It's really just a function of businesses taking the opportunity to take advantage of the market, whatever the conditions are at this moment.
Quinn Keenan, CTV News, Lethbridge.
The City of Lethbridge is launching a new pilot program to collect used batteries. The curbside battery collection program will take place from November 18th to the 28th. Residents can bag their old batteries and set them out for curbside pickup the same day as their green cards. The pilot program is in partnership with Call to Recycle Canada, and Lethbridge, it's the first municipality to offer a program of this kind.
So in 2024, we collected about 7 million kilograms of batteries across the country. So that's a lot of batteries, but there are even more that could be recycled if people just empty their junk drawer or their boxes at home. We are hoping to do even more in 2025.
We don't want batteries in the landfill. It adds to the chemical concentration of the leachate, causes problems within the landfill itself.
Residents are asked to stick tape over the positive terminals and place the batteries in a clear plastic bag for disposal. More information can be found on the city's website. It's already time for our first break. Danielle has your long weekend forecast when we return. Plus, a first of its kind heart transplant has been performed here in Canada. We're back in 2 minutes.
All right, Skycam facing west, a stunning day, but yes, a cooler day compared to yesterday. So we're anywhere from 6 to 10 degrees cooler today in most communities in southern Alberta compared to yesterday. 13 was the high in Calgary, 12 in Edmonton. Just checking out what's happening across the country. Regina got to a high of 24 today, Victoria 15. And then out east, some communities got into the 20s like Halifax, Fredericton, and even St. John's. Okay, for us here, we got close to that in Medicine Hat. 18 degrees is the current temperature, 16 in Brooks right now, 14 in Pincher Creek. Lethbridge at this time yesterday was at 24 degrees, now at 14. So yeah, a difference in temperature, absolutely, but it's still a beautiful day. But thanks to these winds, predominantly out of the north, as you can see here, that's what chilled things down a little bit for us. But it was still stable and it was still bright. 35 kilometers per hour is the maximum wind gust so far today in Lethbridge, 48 in Medicine Hat, and 43 Calgary, 31 in Pincher Creek. So a little bit of a breezy day for sure. The winds should calm for tomorrow. And the next couple days, in fact, the wind should be calmer. We are looking at just stable weather to the south of this ridge here. So that's some good news for us. Stable weather for the next couple of days. Where the weather really takes a turn and adds in some much cooler temperatures, yes, much cooler than today, and even some wet snow, is when this upper level trough will track in. So that's Saturday, Sunday, potentially a bit of Monday. So much of your Thanksgiving long weekend, you're in for much cooler temperatures and some more active weather, I guess you could say, and slippery roads, in fact, in many cases. So really for the next 2 days, as I played this through, you can see nothing going on in southern Alberta. Winds calm, sunshine out. You can see what's starting to track towards us, though. And for Saturday, what we're looking at is this system redeveloping on our side of the Rockies. And as this spins over, it's going to send waves in. So we're looking at waves of rain during the day on Saturday, potentially for some communities, and then switching over to wet snow late Saturday. I'll show you that in the longer range in just a second. East Kootenay, though, for the next little bit, it's fantastic. 4 degrees overnight. Yes, the risk of frost. 20 degrees is our high for tomorrow with mainly sunny skies. And then when we look at Crowsnest Pass, similar, just not quite as warm. 14 degrees is the high for tomorrow with a whole lot of sunshine and stability and calm winds. Medicine Hat, similar idea, just a little bit warmer. And again, when we have the overnight lows that dip closer to that freezing mark, that means we're pretty low when we start off the day. So a cool start to the day. At 8 a.m. you're looking at about 4 or 5 degrees, but then getting up to 17 with sunshine in the afternoon hours. All right, that longer range forecast to give you an idea of Thanksgiving weekend. 17 for tomorrow, 21 for Friday. So toasty weather coming up here for the next couple of days. Clouds increasing on Saturday, later on the Saturday afternoon through the supper hours, the chance of some rainfall, and then switching over to wet snow Saturday night, which carries into Sunday. Check out your high for Sunday and Monday, 4 and 3.
Now to a heart-stopping first at a hospital in Toronto. Canada's first ever heart transplant using a donated heart that had stopped beating before being donated has successfully been performed at Toronto General Hospital. Donations in these cases come from patients who have been taken off of life support with no chance of neurological recovery, leaving their hearts briefly without oxygen. The hospital says this type of transplant could boost the heart donor pool by 30%. The heart recipient is recovering well. It's a major step towards helping thousands of patients waiting for an organ transplant, and it's all because of a medical achievement out of UBC. As CTV's Dimitra Maragos explains, the breakthrough has the potential to make any donation universal.
Data from the Canadian Institute for Health Information shows close to 3,500 Canadians are waiting for an organ transplant. Dr. Stephen Withers from UBC says
there's a shortage of O-type organs for transplant.
And
O-type people tend to wait longer on that transplant list.
Doctors Withers and Jayachandran Kizakahe-Dathu have developed a method that could make more organs available in the future by creating a method that allows organ transplants across blood types.
We developed this method for converting blood from A or B to O type.
This is significant as O type organs are universal donors. They have found enzymes that remove present surface layer A and B antigens and convert them into O type antigens.
It's a little bit like if you were to rub the paint on your car, take off the surface layer of paint, you would expose the primer underneath.
In human experiment, an enzyme-converted kidney was transplanted into a brain-dead recipient. For 2 days, the kidney functioned without signs of destroying an incompatible organ within minutes. While on the 3rd day, the kidney showed signs of a mild reaction.
The transplant surgeons assured me that they should be able to control any subsequent rejection.
While doctors have been able to perform transplants with different blood types in the past, it takes a week to prep the patient. This research shows it can be done much faster without a living donor.
The patient doesn't need any significant preconditioning, but the organ itself just needs a treatment for 1 hour with our enzymes, and that's it.
They add this could dramatically impact organ wait times across the board.
That the number of organs available for transplantation is going to be increased.
Although this is an exciting breakthrough, there are still more studies to be done, and the doctors tell me that clinical trials are still a ways away. Dimitra Maragos, CTV News, Vancouver.
Still ahead on the CTV News at 5. The Toronto Blue Jays and New York Yankees series goes to Game 4. Sports is coming up. The Hurricanes were in Red Deer last night taking on the Rebels, both teams sitting with just 1 win apiece. It had the feeling of an early season must-win. The Canes came out hot with Kay Duell opening scoring in the first. About a minute later, Tyden Lafreniere scored his first WHL goal to make it 2-0. Now in the third, after Red Deer cut the lead, captain Logan Wormold scored his second of the year. Red Deer would score one more, but that is as close as it would get. Lethbridge snaps a 4-game losing streak with a 3-2 win. The Toronto Blue Jays had a Game 3 win and series sweep on their hands, then let it slip away.
2 in the left. Barger's out. He says that he's got it and then loses the ball.
The Jays jumped out to a 6-1 lead over the Yankees early, but defensive errors and weak relief pitching opened the door for a comeback. Aaron Judge tied the game with a 3-run home run, and New York never looked back, winning Game 3 9-6. Game 4 just got underway in New York. October baseball is making headlines, but hockey is back in session. 4 Canadian teams make their debuts tonight on day 2 of the new NHL season. Two classic all-Canadian rivalries hit the ice as the Toronto Maple Leafs host the Montreal Canadiens, and the Edmonton Oilers welcome the Calgary Flames. The Oilers finished up as runner-up to Florida in the last 2 Stanley Cup finals and enter the season as a championship favorite. In Toronto, the Leafs will be without departed star forward Mitch Marner. Puck drop on the Sens, Jets, and Canucks seasons goes tomorrow night. Soccer superstar Cristiano Ronaldo is the sport's first billionaire player. Ronaldo has reached the exclusive milestone. That's according to the Bloomberg Billionaires Index. The world-famous footballer's bank account received a boost earlier this year when he re-signed with Saudi Arabian club El Nasser in a deal worth an estimated $400 million US. He also has lucrative endorsement deals with multiple companies, including Nike and Armani. Still ahead on the CTV News at 5, squirrel foster families are desperately needed in Montreal. We'll explain why next. Welcome back. A puppy or a kitten is one thing, but would you ever care for a baby squirrel? The SPCA in Montreal says it has taken in nearly 1,000 of the little critters which are injured or orphaned this year, and now they need foster families to care for them.
So fostering a squirrel, it's pretty much like any other animal, depending on the age of the animal.
The nonprofit organization says they provide medical treatment, but there is an urgent need for families to care for the animals before they can go to a rehabilitation center. No experience is required. All people need is an enclosed room to isolate the squirrels from other pets. Thank you for sharing this time with us tonight. Now here's the early edition of the CTV National News.